Stella, good morning. Jakai, hi, my friend. Good morning, Jakai. Look, Jakai, you were here and you didn't even hit the like button? What? Fired. Hi, Dylan. Good morning. Good morning, Paul. Hi, Snow. Snow the squirrel. We are good. How are you, my friend? I have made a very serious decision. Me and Jack have got to go find some tick control this morning because I do believe I have a tick, Jack. Thank you very much. You just finished your live stream. I'm sorry, I haven't been able to scroll this morning, so I missed you. I'm sorry. Hey Dylan, have you found Snow the Squirrel on YouTube? Have you found their channel? You should. If you're lucky enough to catch Snow the Squirrel live, you are lucky indeed. I know. What the heck? See, okay, that's another thing. None of my girl dogs ever shared ticks with me. Actually, none of my girl dogs ever had ticks. And these are just Jack. Jack just gets them and gives them to me. Yeah, Dylan, honey, just copy her screen name and then look her up. Mr. Dollar City, thank you for being here. Thank you for always being supportive of everybody. I appreciate you. And Paul says he's a giving type. He sure is. Snow the Squirrel says thank you, Dylan, and thank you for being, of course. How could I not be supportive of a squirrel keeper? Oh my goodness. All right, we have already heard that. So let's keep going, keep it moving. There. Cozy Sleepy Poo. Pose, or is that Cozy Sleepy Pose? Hi, Falcon. Good morning. There we go. Well, let's see, Falcon. Let's be real honest here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those pillows are totally unnecessary, but they're pretty. That's why I am a homemaker in the way that I like to make things look pretty. Yes, pretty. Okay. Comfy, cozy. That's kind of my thing. That's why I have all those unnecessary pillows. Because they're pretty. Dylan says, I found Snow the Squirrel's channel and I am now subscribed to her. Awesome, Dylan. So what's up, Dylan? Do you have any plans for today? Paul says, hi, Deborah. Oh, she says, thank you for not forgetting her. Carl Shell, good morning. Jessica says, no sleeping on the job. You know, well, ever since they demonetized Jack, he says he's going to sleep all he wants because he's not getting paid. Dylan says, no, not really much. I mean, I have to go to church tonight. Oh, it's Wednesday. Cool. Do you just go to church or do you have a special group that you belong to on Wednesday nights? Because I remember we had missionettes and Royal Rangers. You're probably a little too old for this, but I think they have young adult stuff too. Paul says, hi, Dylan and Carl. Carl Shell says, I am fed up with YouTube. How come, honey? What's going on? I feel that way sometimes too, Carl. Jack? Jack obviously feels that way. He says he's sleeping on the job, and what are you going to do about it? Hi, Rosie. Good morning. Sweet Rosie, what's going on, my friend? How is life going? Hi, Sarah. Good morning. Caught me blowing my nose. Dylan says it's all both. Like I always have a special group there, and I have a preacher that he used to be my school teacher, and now he's not. And young adult stuff is too. I'm required to go there because, I've been baptized back in February 2020. Back in February of this year. Awesome. You said I'm required to go there because, and I thought, why are you required to go there? But awesome. I like it. Do you like it there? Hi, Nino. Jackson says, nope. Nino says, Jackson breaks the third. Hey, Cat, what'd you eat today? Chicken and rice. What did you eat? Everybody's saying hello, Nino. How are you, my friend? Dylan says, yeah, I like it there for sure. I mean, you've gone there since November 5th, 2021. Wow, you remember the date. That's amazing. Hi, Daniel Kits. How are you? Good morning, sweetheart. Nino says I had Sonic root beer, float, oh my gosh, and an all-American burger. Okay, Nino, that sounds really good. That is gonna be my goal. On the day I feel I've worked my very, very hardest this summer, I'm gonna go get me an all-American burger and a root beer float, which sounds amazing. Nino says hello back to everybody. Yes, I don't think I've had one since maybe when my kids were kids. I would guess that would be the last time I've had one. I really don't even remember, but yes. Paul is sharing love with a group hug. Thank you, Paul. Jackie Poo. Nina says, I'm confused. What is a malt? I don't know. I guess I'd have to look it up. Oh. Daniel says, like, if you go to your Google Earth, I go to Cedar Grove Church at is it Olmatin or Olafin? I don't know, Kentucky. Anyways, nice. Kentucky, I hear, is beautiful. Daniel says, I am doing good. Just relaxing in the buff like a baby. Okay, Olafin, Kentucky. Olafin, Kentucky, ma'am. Got it. Nina says milkshake and a malt is different, I guess. They asked me at Sonic, did I want a malt? Oh, you should have asked them, Nina. You said, what's the difference? What is it? All right, I guess I'm going to look it up because now I just don't know. Daniel, what's the difference between a malt and a float, though? A milkshake and a malt. Okay. What's the difference? What is the difference between a milkshake and a malt? A milkshake is ice cream plus milk blended together, usually with flavoring like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. A malt is basically a milkshake with malted milk provided. Nope, I still don't understand. Wait a minute. A malt is basically a milkshake with a malted, nope, with malted milk powder added. What the heck is that? Oh, what the heck is that, you ask? Malted milk powder is made from malted barley, wheat, and milk and gives the drink a richer, toastier, slightly nice. Oh, it's also not friendly. You start adding in wheat powder. No, thank you. I'll pass. I guess it gives you a different experience, though. Well, you want one because you want to see if you can taste the difference, Nino, and you definitely should try it and tell me. Real Mr. Bojangle, hello, good morning. Paul says a malt doesn't float. Right, because a malt has, I don't know. Never mind. Jack, bark. Jack, sick 'em. Oh, you did get up. I didn't expect him to move at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was teasing. I didn't think you were going to pay any attention to me. Is it the best spot on the bed? It's the very best spot, isn't it? I have heard of a snickerdoodle cookie. I mean, it's a cookie, so it's good, but other than that, Falcon says, I got bit by a bumblebee one time and my hand was like a balloon. It blew up like a balloon. Daniel says, Miss Jackie, what did you think about the pictures in the community page? I loved them, Daniel. But I always go look at your pictures of food and then realize, oh, I'm hungry. But my favorites are you and your mom, for sure. Real Mr. Bojangle says, for Jack, Mom, I'm busy. Daniel's feeling the love. And Nino says, Cat, you ever ate a butterscotch hard candy? Of course. Rosie says, hi, Falcon, and hi, Real Mr. Bojangle. Falcon says, hey, Rosie. Rosie, did you see the video I made for you yesterday? I probably didn't tag your name correctly. You probably have numbers or something after your name. Something. Ocean 7. Let me go fix that right now. Because I tagged you, but I didn't put the 7 in it. Let me just edit it right now. You did see it. Okay, never mind. Nino, Dana says, Nino, I love dark chocolate more now as I'm older than when I was young. And Nino says, LOL, granny candy dish, butterscotch, peppermint, and cinnamon dish. I mean, I miss the 80s. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, Nino. Nino sending love. He said, I hit the wrong button. Oh no. Good morning, Bridget. Nina says it's something about dark chocolate. It's sweet. The only dark chocolate I like is Mounds. I love dark chocolate. And I probably would agree that as I got older, I appreciate it more. But I think even as a young kid, it didn't matter. If it had sugar in it, I loved it. Bridget says, Jackie Boy looks comfy. He does. Everybody's saying good morning to Bridget. She says, good morning back. Paul says, dark chocolate is my favorite. Daniel says, yes. Rosie says, I never liked dark chocolate, but my mom does. Oh, what is that emoji there, Rosie? What is that emoji I see? What's going on? Bridget says, I used to hate dark chocolate, but I am starting to like it as I get older. But I'm more of a milk chocolate fan. And then Rosie says, oh, wait a minute. Nino says, Cat, have you ever tasted Amish root beer? I stopped the other day and got a bottle after seeing it on YouTube. And trust me, it tastes nothing like Barb's or A&W. It is so strong. I think I might like it. Rosie says, Megan. Hi, Megan Driscoll. Daniel says to Bridget, love, and you're sweet. Aw. Falcon, are you still here? If you are, I just wanted to see how you were doing. If you were doing okay. Matt Torrance says, Jack, what are your thoughts about Bumble using AI? Jack says he doesn't have time to think about Bumble today. Ask again tomorrow. And hello, good morning, Matt Torrance. I think you're super clever and I appreciate you. Carl says, I don't feel loved. I'm sorry, Carl. But I love you. I get it though. Sometimes in the back of your mind, you are loved. Sometimes you just have a hard time feeling it. Dana says, is that a cough? Are you okay, Miss Jackie? I am. I was choking on my spit. You know how you get all choked up on your own spit and it's so hard to recover? You just want to cough even more and more and more. Paul says, you are loved, Carl. And Bridget says, I was coughing all day Monday, but not yesterday. Well, good. Good that not yesterday, I mean. Oh. Bridget says, it was very weird. I also couldn't stop clearing my throat. Are you affected by allergies? I was doing the clearing my throat a lot yesterday. Paul says, I'm starting off coughing like crazy this morning. Bridget says, I don't know. I don't think so. And Daniel says to Saint Bridget, Queen, I hope you are okay. So, Carl, what's your day look like today? It's Wednesday. Any plans for your next live stream? Perhaps, perchance. Carl says, go and see the doctor. Sean says, there's a cat. Where? Where is she? Where is that cat? Kitty, 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 kitty. Where? Sean says, sup, everyone. What's up with you, Sean? Lucy says, hi, Carl and Lady Sky. Hi, Lady Sky. 25 days till Father's Day. 38 days till July 4th. Carl says it involves flying. Oh, because Lady Sky? Because Bridget says there's Sky with the countdowns. Yes, and she does it so very good. Thank you, Lady Sky. Lady Sky says, hi, Rosie. And Paul says, no fun, Carl. Everybody's saying hello back and forth. Daniel is throwing some big hugs out for Paul. Aw. Thank you, Daniel. Rosie says she is done celebrating. Okay. Paul says, thank you so much, Daniel. Wasa, good morning. He says he's fashionably late. And Lady Sky says, thank you, ma'am. Yes, she said you're welcome. Bridget says, Wasa and Alex missed bingo. Carl says, I'm going on a plane. Where are you going, Carl? Lady Sky says, hi, Wasa. My crush is here. And Paul said, I don't know what it says on the phone. Let me come see on the phone because on my TV it says Paul said game. And sometimes it just says people say game randomly. And I know that's not quite right. Nope, it says game here too. Did you mean to say game? I'm lost. Where are you going to? A bingo game. Okay, is that what you're talking about? I'm so lost. Daniel says, I sent the love because Paul said he had a cough, right? You're going to meet Tina. And where exactly are you flying to meet Tina? Where is Tina at that you're flying to? That's what I really wanted to try to say. Thank you. love you. You're a good boy. You're a good puppy. Oh, your breath stinks. It's so bad, Jack. Hi, Sarah Washington. Good morning, my friend. Dana says, I am feeling comfortable laying down in the buff and I am fixing to go sleepy. I am sleepy. My dentist appointment went good. And what did you think about my pictures in the community? To Lady Sky. Paul says, should we all get in line, Cat, for the hug? Yes. Just don't mind Jack's really bad breath. Lady Sky says, you have an awesome picture, Daniel. Many, many awesome pictures. Jack, don't lift the bed, buddy. Hey, don't do that. Bridget says to me, all dogs have bad breath. Okay, fair. Varying degrees of bad breath, and Jack's is particularly bad right now. Carl says, I don't have any pictures. If anybody has anything fun they want to post on Carl Shell's community, then he can't say he doesn't have pictures. Would you stop? You know, he hasn't eaten since yesterday morning. So maybe you need to eat and drink some water. I don't know. I don't know what will help that, sir. Dana says to Lady Sky, did you see the one of me and my mom? And Bridget says, Jackie, stop that. Paul says Jack should attend meetings. He should. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, don't do that. Not here. Not now. Wassa says, okay, I had to bring this up on my phone. I can't respond easily on the laptop. It's absolutely covered in dried rock star. Oh no. And Daniel says, my mom is a beautiful woman. She sure is. Absolutely. I agree, Daniel. Lady Sky says, yes, I saw it, Daniel. Uh-oh, Paul says, what the hell? Jack, you little bed licker, stop it. Stop it. It's okay, I'm changing the sheet this morning anyways. Was that the, what the hell, Bobby? Okay. Well, I have a laptop and it's broken too, so I guess you're laughing at me and Wassa. Whatever, man. I'm not that sensitive this morning, so you're safe. Paul says prayers for Jack's liquor issues. Yes, and he should go to meetings for that. You're right. Wassa says, Carl, I feel the love. Thank you, my friend. So, Carl, you're not going live because you're getting on a plane to go see Tina. Is that what you're telling me today? Bridget says, I missed your comment on Jack. Well, then just put it up there again, sister. I'm reading off my TV, so it doesn't show anything that's hidden or anything extra. It's just the basic stuff. And once it's gone, it's gone. You think YouTube hid it? See, I'm not even looking on my phone or on the TV. It doesn't show that much. Lassa says, for serious? Yeah, I don't know. Carl says the English, Tina. Good morning, Yogi. Daniel's laughing at Yogi because he's very funny and kind and sweet and charming and handsome and all those things I forgot to tell him yesterday. Hi, lovely. Good morning. Yogi says hello to everybody. Everybody's saying hello back and forth. Lady Sky says, hi, Yogi. Good morning to Baltimore, Yogi. I will be listening later on. Carl wants rain. So, Carl, back to your great news about going to go see Tina, the English Tina. Where are you flying to? Yogi says, LOL, I'll remind you to tell me today again. And then I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. Bridget says, it's missing my comments. I mean, the TV. Weird. Carl says, I had a guest yesterday. Did you, Carl? You must tell me all about your guest and all about your upcoming coming plane flight. My words are. Yogi walked in the room and I have not been able to speak correctly since. Daniel says, what did you think about my last comment about Jack? Daniel, I think I can't remember. The Haze Guy says, no one buys Ghirardelli brownie box mix. No? Paul says, you should accept love. Daniel Kit says, Yogi, my friend. How are you, lovely? Oh. Wassa says, did I hear my name? I'm in the kitchen crunching and munching. I don't know. Daniel says he will do it again. And Lady Sky says we are running in circles. I see you laughing, Bridget. How many turns did he do, Paul? Oh, you're crying because your comments aren't going through. I'm sorry. Weird. Let me see. Oh, it must not like the word licking. That must be it. I don't know if it's YouTube or I copied and pasted a generic list of banned words, and I've not ever changed it. It's been the same since I started live streaming, but sometimes it just has different words that could be something they're not. I don't know. I just don't know how much of it's YouTube and how much of it's my stuff. Paul says just one. And Daniel says, the way Jack looks straight at you, Miss Jackie, when you tell him to stop. And Bridget says the TV is being mean. I thought the TV, well, I was going to say I thought the TV is neutral, but that's not true. Carl says, I'm crying. Why are you crying, my friend? Carl Shell, I'm crying because you haven't answered any of my questions. You said you're getting on a plane to go meet Tina Y, the English Tina. Where are you flying to? That is my question. When are you flying? That's my other question. Bridget says YouTube is weird, and that's a good boy, Jackie boy. And Paul says, why are you crying, Carl? Bridget says, one of my bears tapped her light a few times like an hour ago. Cool. Hello, Harley Scott. Good morning to you. I should get little Debbie. Oh, I should get her one of those balls. We did not manage to get it on video though. Paul says, I love baby bears. They're funny. Plus says, oh my God, these marinated artichoke hearts are unbelievably delish. Right, Bridget, on Amazon, they're classified as cat toys. I have to go to the pet store today. I'll probably I might go to Tractor Supply because Jack's almost out of food. But I'll look in the cat section, see if they have them there before I order from Amazon. Paul agrees, artichoke hearts are good. Wasa says, whatever. Wasa's eating all fancy over there. Aren't those blue cheese stuffed olives supposed to be in a drink? Or served with a drink? Daniel's laughing as he says, you know, I have some hot Cheetos, flaming hot, crunchy. No. Daniel says, my grandmother used to make stuffed artichokes at Christmas when I was a kid. Oh, nice. Oh no, Bridget hates blue cheese. I absolutely adore blue cheese. Daniel says, listening to Wassa, I am feeling a snack attack coming on. I do have Kroger's, Bridget. Worst stores ever. The back rooms are disgusting. Well, there goes my Pepsi sponsorship. Paul says, did someone say cheese? Don't be cheesy. Oh, Bridget says there's 3 new flavors of Kroger potato chips. I bought 2 of them. I don't know if it's the same Kroger's. We have Kroger's, the grocery store, which looks really fancy. It looks like a high-end grocery store when you go in, but if you go into their back rooms, they're really bad. Paul says, what are those flavors, Bridget? Daniel says to Paul, I am getting a Pepsi. Is it a wild cherry cream soda? And I will post the picture of my chips and come back in. Alrighty. I'm talking about the grocery part. I don't care about the back rooms. Yeah, but all your food is coming through those disgusting back rooms. I'm just saying. One of the best back rooms in a grocery store, Publix. Paul says, sounds good, Daniel. And Snow the Squirrel says, hi. Just letting us know she's still here. And I wonder where Dylan went. There's Dylan. What? Dylan says, what's the nicest grocery stores around? I definitely think Publix, just being a vendor and going into the different back rooms, Publix has been the cleanest. Bridget says, because my store is the same family of companies as Kroger. I'm sorry. Paul is that a name of a store? I think Paul is naming a store. Bridget says, without giving too much away as to where I live. Smart. Wow, Wasa's making basically a song. I could see, that McDonald's song, dun 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 dun, icy cake, icy shakes, fried dun dun dun. There's a little poem about icy shakes, hot fries. What was it? Anyways, it seems like Boss is doing something like that. Also, pickled asparagus, caramel cheese, the main ingredient, opal, No, I couldn't. It's a lot. Save a Lot. I used to go to Save a Lot. They're closing them down really quickly around here, Dylan. And they have bad back rooms too. They're pretty nasty. Bridget says, Paul, the flavors are chili cheese, buttered corn, and cheeseburger. I need to make a Let Me Put You On episode. Cool. Carl says, I'm flying Ryanair. Yes. To where? Paul says, yum. All this food talk, it's a lot. Wassa is very into his food over there. And Dylan says they closed the one in Beaver Dam back in 2016. Not sure what of, but yeah, that's crazy. And then Wassa adds in oat and pickled beets. And Paul says, dang Wassa, living the king life. I know. Napa cabbage, I meant instead of pickled beets. Carl says the flight is in 40 minutes. And where are you flying to? And do you think you will live stream with Tina? Bridget says to Wassa, I love pickled beets. And Wassa says, it's super healthy. I've been shedding pounds like mad. Nice. Dylan says, well, I think Dylan's saying he's getting sleepy and good night, everyone. Hey, Dylan, good night, my friend. Sweet dreams, and I love you, Dylan. Carl says we're making videos. Oh, cool. I love that. Can't wait to see Carl. Paul says, good night, Dylan, and I like pickled anything, even eggs. Even pickled eggs because I tried it. I mean, I made pickled eggs and they're still sitting in my fridge. I don't think I should feed them to the chickens because they're too salty. Oh, Dylan. Bridget says, I haven't had them since they closed all the White Fence Farm, fried chicken restaurants in my state. Paul says, yes. I feel like the stuff I used to pickle the eggs was already flavored one way. Like I would like to have it a little less pickly and more pickled with a spice, with like a little bit of a Louisiana hot sauce taste to it. That seems like it would be good. But I don't know how to get it that way. Huh. Wassa says he cannot share because he would get in such unbelievable trouble. And Dylan says, wow, good night to you too, Paul, with a big old heart. Carl says, I never had a pickled egg. Paul says you might want to have your tongue checked, Cat. Maybe. I think I just bought the spices that were already made and put together instead of making it the way I wanted it. But it was my first attempt. And yes, you are correct. Do you know with asthma and all the sinus issues I have, my taste is off for sure. Sometimes I can't taste anything at all. And my medicine does the same thing. Carl says there's no such thing as, are you talking about pickled eggs in Ireland? Carl, Carl, I was supposed to tell you something, Carl. Um, Carl, Keith Kavanaugh. Keith Kavanaugh is an Irish Course in Miracles teacher. Because you had said something about there are no A Course in Miracles teachers in Ireland, and we found one. He's kind of a big deal too. Carl Shell, let me just share with you a short.
On how you access an intelligence beyond thought. It is a blueprint for how you access the intelligence of spirit instead of the raving lunacy of an ego, a separate self, an imaginary me. So the Course tells us, I have no private thoughts, which is the thoughts of a private self, its opinions and wants and hates and pleasures and pains. And I have no private thoughts, but it's only private thoughts of which I'm aware. What can they mean? They do not exist.
Anyways, Carl, there we go. And he is going to be Yogi's guest in a few weeks. Very excited for it, Carl. And Daniel says, Paul, the Pepsi Wild Cherry Cream Soda is good. We do sell a lot of that. Actually, we sell a lot of the diet. Daniel. Paul says, I know someone who was born without the ability to taste, has no idea what anything tastes like. Carl says he's an American accent. Now you are totally putting me on now, Carl, because he has such a strong Irish accent. Sometimes I have to really stop and listen to what he's saying to understand him. Sorry, Carl. But I thought you'd be excited, actually. Paul said he knows somebody that was born without the ability to taste. It's weird. It's a weird experience, and it does take a lot of the pleasure out of food. Dana says, Carl, don't believe you, Miss Jackie. I know. Well, don't get mad at Carl. That's just wasting your time, Bridget. No reason to get mad. He's a wonderful person and a great teacher, and I cannot wait. I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. Lassa says it's like having a secret language. Cat can't understand. I always understand everything you say perfectly. That's true. Hamilton St. Ives. Good morning, my friend. Greetings, puppy Captain Jack. Boy, what a hard day trolling. A troll's work is never done. How are you, Hamilton? Daniel is still snacking on his flaming hot chips. And Paul says, almost time for paint on the snowman ornament I'm carving. Oh my goodness, forgive me. Are you working on your new assignment? Wasp says it's a men only thing, Kat. Paul knows what Carl and I are talking about, right, Paul? Paul is laughing. And Hamilton says, oh, I was not such a bad person. And I'm well. I hope you and all here are doing well. Yes. Oh, good, Paul. I'm glad to hear that. Yay. We are Hamilton. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see that you're doing well and you're keeping up the good work, the good work of a troll. Paul says, hi, Hamilton. Jack, are you watching me? I see you. Hi, Bubba. Oh, it's time to go back to bed. Hamilton says, greetings all. Easy. Be easy. We'll clean your ears out today, okay? Oh, a mushy puppy. He is a mushy puppy. Daniel says, OMG, Miss Jackie, this Pepsi, oh Lord, it's yummy. So I wonder if you took a wild cherry Pepsi and put a scoop of really good vanilla ice cream in it. What do you think? Or if you just took a wild cherry Pepsi and put a scoop of ice cream in it, would it be the same? Oh, Baba. I hear you. Yeah, Wassa, you're not being very relatable over there. with all your fancy food. Mr. Fancy. Mr. Fancy Feast. Okay, I'll stop. Bridget says she tried making a root beer float one time and couldn't taste the ice cream. Huh. I think our friend, yes, Nino, was here earlier and was talking about would he get an all American burger and a root beer float for dinner yesterday. And that sounded really good to me. It does sound yummy, doesn't it, Daniel? I figured I would save that for the day that I worked the very hardest this summer. Hamilton says, what a coincidence. I poured a glass of Jack Daniel's honey flavored whiskey into a bowl of vanilla bean ice cream yesterday. That actually sounds really good. Okay, that sounds real. One of my favorite girly drinks is a brandy Alexander. That kind of reminds me of that. Well, at least the way they used to make the brandy Alexanders for me. It was a dessert. It was an experience. Eduardo, hello. Well, thank you for that. Where the heck have you been? Hamilton says, yes, it is so good. I never even thought of doing something like that before. Paul says, I picture Wassa sitting at the end of a really long table in a high back chair, wearing extravagant clothes while servants bring trays of food. Wow, that is quite the picture. You know what I pictured when I was reading that, Paul? I pictured that same thing, only Wassa was dressed up in the king's clothes, acting like the king, while the servants played along. Stitch says, oh no, I'm late. You're never late. What are you late for? You're right on time, sister. You're on Stitch time, and that's always perfect timing. Paul is laughing, and Hamilton says, Brandy Alexander. Oh, I haven't heard of that dress, no, since the 1980s. Nope, the servants were not scantily clad 23-year-old vixens. Dream, not, I haven't heard of that dream, not since the 1980s. I'm trying to think. It was when I was hanging out with my husband, who, yeah, he was kind of wild. And we used to hang out with some really kind of different kind of clubs. And that's where I experienced a Brandy Alexander. It was very good. I'll never forget. 90s. So it was mid 90s. Dana says, am the guy that eats food. Paul says, OMG, Wassa. Wassa says, how dare you deny me that? Well, that is your vision. Me and Paul just had different visions for you. I was married a couple times, Hamilton. Stitch says, what are we talking about? You know what we're talking about, Stitch? You know what I'm talking about today? About how sometimes we think we want things and they turn out to be just things, not important things. They end up being just something that satisfies the ego here and now, but not giving you true peace. That is what we're talking about. What is something that you, Stitch, what's harder for you, letting go of something or being right? Rosie, that's a question for you. Is Rosie still here? Boss says, how dare you, Cat? You. I know. What? Me? Me? Let me do this. Let me do this like someone we all love. Me? Snow the Scrawl chooses letting go of something. Carl says, I'm lost here. Like a boyfriend, maybe, Stitch. Hamilton says, tell me about it. Lots of stuff. No peace. Yes. Stitch says, letting go. I'm never right. And oh, Paul says, Wassa. I hope they have wonderful perfume on. Hamilton says, well, not enough peace. You do find some moments of peace. Yes, but sometimes, like I personally had a really bad day the other day because of all these things that I have decided that I want, how I want my life to look. And even while I was having my day and just crying it out is what I was doing. I call it a temper tantrum, but I was crying it out. And I realized none of those things I was crying for were important. They weren't what mattered. And the fact that I was suffering so much over these things that don't matter, it was definitely disrupting my peace. Snow the Squirrel says someone yesterday said on my live stream that Snow was a rat. I was so mad. Aw. You should just ignore people who say stuff like that. They probably thought they were being funny, or maybe they just needed to. I don't know. I'm sorry. Snow the Squirrel is definitely not a rat. And if they can't tell the difference between a rat and a squirrel, then maybe they need to go back to school. Paul says that was not kind, Snow. And she says, I know, right? And Hamilton says, I know the feeling, Cat. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Thank you, Hamilton. And Daniel's sending lots of love. And Snow the Squirrel says, he's a squirrel. And yep, Cat, you're right. And even though I have definitely broken off from the Christian faith, I still remember some Bible verses, and one of them is about how much how much God cares about the bird in the field. If he cares and takes care of a bird in the field, why would I think that I would not be in the same hands? Wow, Snow has been 6 years with you. Wasa says, Cat, it doesn't seem like you to be bothered by such things because that's not me. That's the ego. And that's a big thing too. I learned from one of Yogi's guests. it's not like I didn't know it, but when she said it, it hit home. Nanette. Wasa, do you remember Nanette? I wish I could remember her last name. It begins with a T. But she said something and it really hit me that even though I have those thoughts, that's not who I am. So when you said that doesn't sound like you, Cat, exactly, that's not me. They were just thoughts. Which now, in retrospect, it seems so silly to get all worked up over thoughts. But we do it all the time. Wow. Daniel says, hey, Wasa, thank you for stopping by. Daniel Berry Sport Highlights. Good morning to you. And Snow says, happy Wednesday back to you, Daniel. Daniel Berry, Snow the Squirrel corrects herself. Or, yeah. Yes, Wasa. Hamilton says, I think I just need more funny animals in my life. That always helps, right? I, I do believe truly that the message of Jack for me in my life is to just be in the moment and to chill out sometimes, loosen up a little bit, have some fun. Don't take everything so dang seriously. And Snow the Squirrel says, ah, Hamilton. And Wassa says, I had fun, Daniel, and it was my pleasure. And Paul, uh-oh, Paul is making up your new dream, Wassa. He says, do you have a hair color preference for your smell good, sexy 23-year-old? You know, 23 is such a child, really. Looking back, I'm sorry. Snow squirrel. If I was a man, I would say I would be more into women in their 30s, I think. Probably late 30s too. Snow the Squirrel says some people even think Snow's hair isn't natural. Wow, they don't know anything. And Daniel Kit says hi to Daniel, the other Daniel. And Hamilton St. Ives says yep. And Snow the Squirrel says they're mistaken because it's just rare. Aw, Daniel says Wassa, love you, bro. Paul says that's the first squirrel I've seen with that color fur. Same, I agree. Me too, Paul. Very unique. Snow the squirrel says yes, Paul. That's why I got Snow. Hamilton St. Ives says, well, good night to all and see you all soon. Good night, Hamilton. Thank you for coming by. Aw, Snow the squirrel says he chose me and I chose him. Yep. Paul says, bye, Hamilton. Daniel says, I am going to get some chocolate and another Pepsi. Wow. Daniel, do you eat just one time a day or do you just burn calories really good? All right. about some chocolate and some chocolate milk? Paul says all hair colors are beautiful. Did Wasa ever answer? Or was he too busy eating? Dana just says, I eat when I get hungry, and yeah, you? I eat when I'm not hungry, and yeah, luckily. Carl says, I'm going to pour Pepsi down the drain in England. That can get pretty expensive. JJJJ says, what's Jack's retirement plan? He's doing it, man. You see it. How are you, JJJJ? It's good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a long while. Daniel says, right. Carl says Dr. Pepper is English. JJJJ says change of work schedules. Oh, I see. How are you feeling about that? Me too, but I've seen you since my change. Dana says, should I fix chocolate milk instead? Yes. Chocolate milk sounds awesome. He says, I'll be back. Paul agrees. Yes. I think we're living vicariously through our friends, Paul. Bridget says, I love chocolate milk. And Stitch yawns and says, I'm not tired. It's cat time. Aw, you can be tired. Yeah, if you're hanging out at cats, you're probably going to get tired anyways. Dana says, love you, Miss Jackie. Thank you. I love you too, my friend. Where's the crow song? Hello, Alec. Good morning. Paul says, Kat, you are blessed to have this amount of love in your life. Well, thank you for pointing that out. I think you are correct, Paul. It's not lost on me. Stitch says, no, I haven't slept much. My bed isn't comfortable. Paul is asking, do you need a new mattress, Stitch? Maybe that's too loud for the morning. Maybe. All right. Yes. Do you need a new mattress, Stitchy? What's going on? Or is it because of Sasha? Bridget says, my bed has been the same level of firmness for 10 years. I don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. Stitch says, yeah, but I need glasses first. So I'm trying to save up for glasses first. Okay, Carl says, I was talking to A-Frame at 2 a.m. Was she up looking at the sky, Carl? What happened to your other glasses, Stitchy? I imagine that mom and dad are like, Stitch, you need to be more responsible with your glasses. But I don't know. It just says, when it was bought for me, I thought it was too hard, but it's actually perfect. Nice. And Paul says, glasses are more important, I would say. Well, I just don't understand why at 13 does Stitchy have to buy new glasses or a mattress? I'm wondering if there's a story behind it. Stitch says pink one. Sasha chewed up the blue one. The pink ones Sasha chewed up. The blue ones are ugly on me. What are we talking about? Glasses. Sasha chewed up. And oh, I bet you they were not put up in a place. Got you. I understand now. So you do still have glasses. And I've seen you in your blue glasses, and I don't think they're ugly on you at all. And Daniel says, I will post a picture, and Paul says, yes, post it, Daniel. Stitch says they were on my nightstand. Well, I know better than to leave my glasses on the nightstand, Stitch, because Jack can get them, and he knows when I leave them there. Oh, Carl said 2 a.m. Irish time, which was what, about 8, 9, 10 p.m. for her, Carl? Bridget says the glasses I have now are the first ones I've ever had to pay for. Lucky you. Nice. Wanda says I took pictures of my pile, cleaned up, and now I'm about to dig in. Oh, I thought you've already been eating. What have you been doing all this time? Bridget's laughing and says, yep. Piled of what? Do I even want all the things he's been talking about? He gave us a breakdown of everything. And Wassa says, this is so unbelievably bomb. Great. Wassa says, I grazed a tiny bit while gathering. No harm. Okay. Paul says, enjoy King Wassa. Stitch says, my eye doctor, I can get two pairs for like 80 bucks, but I don't know if I want the blue lenses also. Oh. Bridget says, oh, is it a Shaggy and Scooby Doo size pile? Paul says, all hail King Wassa. Also says, subject Paul. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Bridget says, if you know, you know. I often don't know. Okay, Carl says 2 a.m. is 8 p.m. Chicago time. So I was right in the ballpark. You, you were up very early, Carl. Did you not sleep? Were you too excited? Hi, Boaz. The weather is humid, wet, and dark. Jack snuggled makes me think it's cold outside. No, uh-uh. Stitch says, so I'm gonna save around $200 and see if mom will take me, even though I hate my eye doctor. That's unfortunate. Bridget says, let's see who's old enough to remember the OG Scooby Doo series. And Paul says, I'm very talkative today. Sorry if I'm annoying. You are not annoying, not a bit. I am glad to hear from you. And yeah, that's even silly to even think that, Paul, honestly. And Paul says, I loved Scooby. So, do you know what she's talking about? About the Scooby sized or Scrappy? Is that what it was? Pasta says mean. Did anybody say mean? Did I miss something? Shaggy, sorry. Scooby and Shaggy. And I watched it kind of in the background, but I have never been a person who sits and actually watches the whole show and gives it all my attention, even as a kid. Roaz says, I remember the OG Scooby Doo, still my favorite being middle aged. Used to rush home from middle school to watch guest appearances. How cool. Wassa says, oh, I misheard you. My bad. I thought you said my reply was mean. I was wrong, Bridget. What was your question? And Bridget says, Wassa didn't catch my reference. No, I don't think he did. He was too busy with his food. Hi, Maddie. Good morning. Thank you for the love, Maddie. Wassa says, I'm sorry, I didn't see before, Bridget. All this food, dot, dot, dot. You understand. Yes, doing well. Thank you, Maddie, for sure. I might even get up and do some real stuff today. How is you and your family, Maddie? Daniel Kitts is back. Oh, Stitch, they tried to do that with me. They tried to do an online visit at the doctor, the eye doctor, and I said, what? No. So you just told me. She says, the only reason I hate my eye doctor is because the first part is with a person and the second part is on like a FaceTime thing and I have to speak up, but I'm shy at the same time. Wassa answers Bridget and says, ah, it's pretty impressive, yes. And Bridget laughs. Maddie says, all good. Thank you, Kat. I love you guys, Maddie. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to hang out. I just work. Summer and work. It's our busy time. And if I'm home, I might be sleeping. I probably am sleeping. Bridget says the FaceTime part makes no sense. Well, she has to officially see a doctor so the doctor can charge her insurance. Ross's cat said, no, 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 it's a song. And Daniel says, ah. And Roa says, having a good cup of coffee or hot chocolate with mini marshies and whipped cream gets the day going. Oh my gosh. That hot chocolate with marshmallows is dessert. Maddie says, it's okay, Kat. I understand. I'm the same. Work, work, work. I know. You have so much more to be home for, though, Maddie. Bridget loves hot chocolate. Paul says, food and drink festival on the stream today, apparently. Maddie says, I'm trying to get pension off on ill health next year. I hope that works for you. I hope you have lots of time to take all those kiddos fishing. That would be awesome. Wassa says they tried to get Kat to have a digital copy. She said no, no, no. Roa says it's the little things in life you appreciate more later in life. I agree. Daniel says milk to Bridget. My chocolate milk is yummy, and I posted my milk and my mini chocolate bars in the community page. Awesome, Daniel. Stu says, Mom is stressed because our doctor for our yearly appointment that we have been going to for 19 years left. So we have a new doctor, so Mom has to reschedule. And then I am still in school. Ah, that's unfortunate. We lost Jack's doctor, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't really care for any of the other vets in my area. She was my favorite. Maddie says, get the kids to tie all my flies. Kira is very good at it, really. Aw. Bridget says, Daniel, I'm jealous. And Wassa says, sorry. Apparently, I'm obsessed with getting that little dead ditty perfected, and it's a total lost cause. Well, I was thinking about, with the no, no, no. Is it the I don't want to go to rehab? Uh, what is it called? Amy Winehouse. Yes, exactly. Daniel says, just the milk. You can only post so many a day. I did not know that. Daniel says, but I am eating on some 100, 100 grand bars. Minis. Oh, nice. I haven't had one of those ever, probably. Maddie says, gotta get back to work. Love to you, Kat, from myself and the family. Thank you, Maddie. We love you. Be safe. Stitch says, I mean, I met the new doctor already when I went with Dad, but it's gonna take a while for me to get used to this new girl. Bridget says, about 100 grams are delicious. Rose says 100 grand bars in hot chocolate. Maddie says, I eat fruit at work and my evening meal. 27 pounds lost in just over 4 weeks. Wow. Good for you, Maddie. Just got to get that blood pressure down. That's great. I'm really proud of you. Oh, this is throwing out more ideas. A Rocky Road chocolate marshmallow bar, red or green. And Bridget says, oh, I might have to try that, Roaz. Stu says, okay, sorry, Kat. I will shut up. Now you don't have to shut up. I was thinking, if it was me, Stitch, I would probably be more comfortable with a female eye doctor. Wassa is so hungry he almost bit his own finger really hard. Paul says, pace yourself, Wassa. Maddie says, laters, everyone. Take care and be kind. Thank you, Maddie. Bridget says the 100 grand in hot chocolate, I mean, the caramel would make it super yummy. Roa says a lot of doctors lack bedside manners nowadays. Exactly. You are right. I wonder how much of it is just because they're so overwhelmed, or are they just that big of egomaniacs? What's this is Paul. Excellent advice. I always wolf my food down. I'm bad about that. Six says last time I went to the eye doctor, the first part was with a girl, but we can't choose for the FaceTime thing. Oh, I see. Bridget says, don't choke, Wassa. Paul says, me too, Wassa. I do. If I wait too long to eat, I have a habit of doing the same. That's why I gave myself heartburn yesterday. I waited too long to eat and I was starving and I just kept piling it in. Daniel says to Bridget, I am a good boy. I finished my chocolate milk. Now I have a full tummy. Wow. Paul says, I had a doctor that told me he asked the questions, not me. Did you leave? Did you get up and leave right away, Paul? Wow. And then there are the doctors who are just your stereotypical doctor with a God complex, maybe. Daniel says, my eye doctor is a woman and she's pretty. That's always very helpful, right, Daniel? If they're pretty and they smell good, or they're super kind and smell good. Wasa says, my father used to constantly say, boy, you are going to embarrass yourself and your parents when you go out and meet them over food and eat like an animal. I didn't. My girlfriend's parents loved me big time, so Paul says, OMG. Wasa says, neither me nor dad, but I'm not bitter though at his constant horrific betrayals. Well, I'm sorry about that, Wasa. Bridget says, are you sure, Wasa? And Daniel says, yes, ma'am, always. You are really good at this stuff. You are really, really good at this stuff. I lost what we were talking about. Carl, how long before your flight? Stitchy says, I'm going to head out. I'm tired. I'm going to go think of ways to make money. All right, Stitch, I love you, my friend. Oh, my my woman eye doctor, remember? I do now. Yes. I love you, Stitchy. And she says good night and good morning, and everybody's saying good night and sweet dreams to you, Stitch. Aw, love you too, honey. Well, Bridget, we really don't know the whole story of why she's having to make money. I just want to put that out there. You don't know the whole story. I don't either. But having been a parent or being a parent, I understand sometimes there are reasons that not everybody can see. Paul says, I never got an allowance. Me either, Paul. That wasn't a thing. You just did your chores and then you were given your freedom. unless you had to babysit four brothers. Carl says the flight leaves Ireland at 12:25. It is so in a little more than 2 hours, Carl. Wassa says, of course I'm bitter. I try not to think about it or let it bother me. Paul says, I was allowed to live there. Carl says, take care, everyone. Heading to the airport shortly. Well, Carl, I'm really excited about your big adventure. You take care. Have a great flight, and I look forward to hearing about your big adventure. Bridget says, I've only gotten an allowance once. My parents didn't stick with it because I didn't understand. Paul says, bye, Carl. Safe travels. Hi, Mina Lolita. How are you? Wassa says, later, Carl. I'm excited too, and have a great flight. Bridget says, I'm jealous of anyone whose parents thoroughly explain things because mine didn't. I don't know that mine did either. I don't know if any parents really thoroughly explain things to children. Wassa is hoping Carl will tell us all about his trip later. I'm hoping to see some videos. Paul says hi to Mina. And Mina says hello back. How are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well, Mina. Wassa says I'm not sure what that means. Examples? And Bridget says I've seen parents both on TV and in real life who are good at explaining really well. I think you might have something there, Bridget, because I remember my daughter spending a lot of time explaining things to her children, but to me, it was over explaining something that a child wouldn't understand, anyways. But maybe she felt the same thing that you did, and that's why she did what she did. Wassa says, please hit the like button before you go, Carl. Thanks for that, Wassa, and everyone. Thank you for that. Mina is sending love. Thank you for that, Mina Lolita. My mom never explained anything to me. Even that big event in a girl's life, my mom never explained. She tried to sit down, but she was being so, instead of being very honest and being very blunt, she was trying to dance around the subject, so I had no idea what she was talking about. Wasa, how many kids do you have? Jack, your feet look green. I said, how many children do you have, Wasa? Paul says, I was always told, do what you're told. You're the child. We are the adults. That's kind of how I feel like it was at my house too. It was. It was keep your mouth shut. Don't embarrass me. I remember, oh, be quiet, Stace. I remember hearing that a lot. Bridget says teachers too. Like when I'd say something and my gym teacher would just shout detention at me without explaining what was wrong with what I said. Did you find you might have had a learning disability, Bridget? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just asking in general. Maybe that was why there was a disconnect. Roa says I get boogies more now because do you think that's what it is? You get more boogies because of chemtrails overhead. That's an interesting theory. Did you see me blowing my nose? Bridget says probably. I was a weird kid too, though. Maybe you weren't weird. Maybe you just learned and took in information differently. And I would guess that the adults around you when you were young were not so knowledgeable about different ways that kids learn. Rose says, yes, you did. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Wassa says, oh, none that I know of. That's what I thought. That's all I need to know. Roa says, I heard the nose horn. Oh no. Bridget says, right. Daniel says, I was in a special needs class in all years in school. Paul says, I wasn't at 4. I wasn't ready at 4. I was a scared little boy. Yeah, I just think that we weren't knowledgeable enough for some of the older people now. Not older people, but I think kids nowadays have more of a chance because there's so many different ways of learning and we know about it. At least I hope. That's my hope. And Paul says it's no surprise what happened because you weren't ready. I'm sorry, Paul. Oh gosh, guys, it is 5:02. Look at us. Look at us go. Yay. It was the past. And what happened to you is not who you are. You are not your story. Wassa, you are not your story. Paul, you're not your story. Jack, you are not your story. You are so much more. And I hope you guys maybe take a little quiet time today and ask, who am I? And I hope you find a really unique and beautiful answer. And with that, I want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you. You are my only friends. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you guys. We'll see you again.